What is up, Twitch and YouTube? Today is a vintage challenge, 2/27/21. Um, just yesterday, they announced that they will be printing an old border paradoxical outcome inside of Time Spiral Remastered, which got me incredibly hyped. I was very happy yesterday reading Twitter, which is not always the case, you know. So in honor of that printing, I'm going to play this Underworld outcome list. This is a Bryant Cook creation. Bryant placed ninth in the last challenge with this list, so or a list similar to this. Um, and so I wanted to give it its fair chance. You know, I think Underworld Breach is an incredibly powerful Magic card. It's not a card that I find particularly fun and interesting. But that doesn't always, doesn't always matter too much. You really should play powerful decks. So I definitely wanted to give this its due chance. I'm particularly interested in how good is the PO plan. I would say it's a secondary plan. Underworld Breach combo is your main plan, but the PO plan is an interesting way to just skirt around things like Graveyard Hate. The only changes I made from Bryant's list is I cut one Night's Whisper and one Pyroblast to play two Sprite Dragons. And the reason I did this is a couple of reasons. One, there were four Night's Whispers in this list, which I don't think... Oh, excuse me. I don't think that's inherently bad. But this list is playing two islands, which I like. I do like two islands, but the fact that it makes it hard to fetch an Underground Sea to cast Night's Whisper off of Moxen on turn one, I thought that for Night's Whisper may be pushing it, especially when you really want to fetch Island on turn one. So I trimmed a Night's Whisper, and then I think that Pyroblast is on a slight downturn again. A lot of the best decks in the format are Breach and Bug and Golos. So you end up with Pyroblast not being super strong. And I've never been a huge fan of playing a lot of Pyroblast in a deck that doesn't have things like Dak Faden to get rid of your Pyroblast when they are dead draws. And they are dead draws in like a certain percentage of matchups. So I just trimmed down to two. I didn't want to like really change how the main core of the deck worked because I really wanted to give it its fair chance as it was constructed. I do think that having additional... I think Sprite Dragons are really an interesting card in this list because they pair very well with Lurrus. It gives you another plan. So now you have a Breach plan, an Outcome plan, and a Dragon plan that are all affected by different types of interaction. So this is like mainly Graveyard and Artifact Hate. This is mainly Artifact Hate, and this is mainly like Pyroblast and Creature Removal. And while that doesn't like super mesh well together, it at least gives you different options on how you want to play your game out against different archetypes. And I really do like the fact that you can bring back Sprite Dragon with Lurrus. So this has been quite good for me against decks like Bug, Deathrite Shaman decks, non-Pyroblast decks, basically. I think it's good against basically all the slower non-Pyroblasting decks. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say. I think this list is pretty well constructed. It's a very traditional like Breach combo shell, but you also get to play Opal, Mana Crypt, and like the PO artifacts to enable a combo plan with PO. You don't have Tinker Citadel. You do have Tinker Colossus in the board, which I like a lot. It's going to give you a different way to play against the like shops and maybe Dredge. Probably not Dredge because you probably want Lurrus. But maybe more like shops. It's going to give you an easy way out. We do have to keep in mind we don't have Tinker Citadel. We can't tutor for that and do that kind of thing, but we have some other powerful combos to make up for that. Okay, we're here. Round one, Vintage Challenge with Underworld Outcome versus Rodney. I have a cap. Let's do it. This hand looks strong. A nice PO mana hand. We've got multiple colored sources. We've got Merchant Scroll for Ancestral, Fluster, and Vamp. Pretty happy with this hand. This hand would be even better if... Oh, jeez. Would have been even better if we had Tinker, right? So we could Vamp for a Tinker and then play Tinker with Fluster backup. So definitely something to keep in mind. The fact that I would definitely be going for a Tinker line, I think, with this deck if it was a different one. So we see Hollow One, Bloodghast, Hogak, and Powder. Two Hollow Ones. Okay. So this can either be... This could still either be Loam Dredge or Hogak Vine with powders, or maybe like Horror One, something like that. 8 power is about 1,000,000 power, so we are going to have to try to combo off here. I think our best chance is to just go for a PO. We do want to keep open Flusterstorm for something like Mindbreak, Trap, Force of Negation, those kind of spell. Force of Vigor. Trying to see if I should fit. I think I'm going to fetch an Underground Sea. It's a little risky. Opponent could definitely be on Wastelands, and probably is on Wastelands, but I haven't actually done the math here on how much mana I have. I need 7 mana. Well, they might have Misstep. That would be very bad as well. They do have Misstep. All right, I'm definitely not fighting over this. What I think I'm going to do is just play Petal, Opal, Merchant Scroll for PO, and pass the turn with Flusterstorm Vamp up. Take a big hit, obviously, but it will at least let us have a plan here. This actually might just be supposed to be Ancestral, now that we've seen Misstep gone. And the reasoning is because sacking this Petal makes my PO not 3. But I actually think I'm just going to go with Ancestral. I actually think I am going to just Ancestral on my turn here. I think I'm willing to like Flusterstorm a Force or a Trap. Well, maybe I want to play around Trap. I guess the question is, do we want to play around Trap? I don't think so. I think I'm supposed to just cast this now. This is kind of the reason why, right? I have a lot of artifacts in my deck. So now I probably have a Breach Kill on the next turn, right? I'm not. Before Twitch, before YouTube, yells at me too much. I am not a very good Breach player. I have not played a lot of Breach, so the lines don't come super easy to me. However, I'm pretty sure we just go Lotus, Night's Whisper, Vamp for a Breach, and then I'll have 1, 2. I have a bunch of cards in my yard, and I'm pretty sure I can just go Lotus, Scroll, Brain Freeze, and I still have the ability to hold up in Flusterstorm, Pyroblast, so I don't believe I need to go Vamp before Night's Whisper. I don't think that is required. I don't know how opponent would like shuffle my library or mill me, unless they had maybe Revival. I guess I could play around Revival. I mean, if they have Revival now, it would not play around it, but I think I'm just going to Vamp after I do Night's Whisper, in case I were to draw something else. Okay, so yeah, I'm just going to go for the Breach Kill. LSV did? That's fantastic. LSV has been incredibly supportive of my content, and so big shout out to LSV for hyping up Vintage. And my channel, of course. But yeah, LSV has been really, really nice, and pretty much all I can say. Yeah, he's around. He's a busy guy, though, so. Okay, so they did have Noxious Revival. I wonder if we were supposed to play around that. That is kind of concerning to me. So they actually pitched Force of Vigor and Noxious Revival here. I wonder... We would be pretty bad against a Chalice here as well. We don't have something that counters a Chalice. Why discard Force? I don't know. Maybe they are keeping like double Mindbreak Trap or something. Maybe they have another Force. We'll have to find out. I assume they have some piece of counter magic here. I'm surprised they discarded Revive. I guess Revival doesn't shuffle my deck, but could have like put a fetch land on top. That would have bought them enough time. So I think that unless opponent has like double Misstep here, or sorry, double Trap, feels a little weird pitching like an active Vigor and a Revival, which are both cards that can disrupt my combo. Maybe they have another Revival and they're going to try to disrupt my combo or something, but... let's see how much mana I have. I have a bunch of mana. I'm pretty sure I don't have to cast anything crazy to start. I'm pretty sure I just want to go cast Underworld Breach and then Merchant Scroll. I still have... Oh, am I going to be... Oh, I don't have any mana to cast counter spells, do I? Okay, no, I just have to cast one Lotus first, right? 3 cards in my yard, yeah. So I just need to make sure that the first thing I do is cast a Lotus. Like I said, I need to talk through these Breach lines because I am not a competent Breach player, just because I do not have enough reps with Breach. Okay, they have a negation, sure. Oh, that's all their cards, right? So let's do this. And now we should just win, right? Unless they have, we need to get a Soul Guide Lantern out, right? Or do we not need to do that? Do we think that they have Creeping Chills in their deck? Okay. I guess they do not. I'm trying to think, if they have Creeping Chills in we deck, can we really beat that with one Soul Guide Lantern? I'm not 100% sure we can, right? Because they go on the stack in between each Brain Freeze. I'm not 100% sure. Either way, we pulled it off. Underworld Breach combo is fantastic. Might have been even better than Tinker there, to be perfectly honest. Because if we wouldn't, by the time we would have been able to Tinker, we would have already taken 8. So it's possible that really Underworld Breach combo was even better. All right, so I'm going to assume we're up against Loam Dredge / Horror. I guess it's not Loam Dredge. It is Horror 1. Let's go check out a Horror 1 list. I don't understand. I don't really think... I guess opponent didn't have a choice. They either took Vigor or Negation, and Negation was better choice, so I guess that makes sense. If they had one more card, they could have maybe kept a Force plus a Revival, and maybe that would have been good enough. Kind of interesting to think about. Where are the Horror 1 lists? Do people just not play this deck anymore? Okay. Rootwalla, Bloodghast, Negation, Vigor, Revival, Shoal, 3 Mindbreak Trap, 4 Force of Will. How do we win this game? Leyline of the Void is probably coming in. And then more Force of Vigors are probably coming in. This kind of seems like a... it's weird because I don't think it's a Tinker Blightsteel matchup because I think you're pretty interested in having Yixid Jailer Needle Lurrus. Maybe you don't care about Lurrus and you still bring in Tinker. I haven't actually like watched all of the VODs, so I'm not 100% sure. Don't think Remora is where we want to be here. And I think that Pyroblasts are garbage in comparison to something like Flusterstorms. Misstep looks quite poor. I actually don't hate Sprite Dragon. Something like this, maybe? It's kind of interesting, actually. Something like this looks reasonable, though. I feel like if I'm boarding in these cards, I definitely want to keep Lurrus as my companion. Even though I typically would think a Blightsteel is quite good in this matchup. Interesting. This hand kind of not very good. I don't actually think like Force and Fluster are particularly strong cards against my opponent's deck, and I think that this is like asking to get Squeed on. Squeed on? Is that is that a verb? Let's try something else. This hand is at least a little bit stronger. It's gonna run into all of their interaction, but I'm definitely keeping it. I think what I'm gonna do is pitch this Probe, and I'm gonna lead with Sprite Dragon. It's like the least vulnerable thing I can do, and then I can like follow up by going Soul Ring top. that kind of thing. I don't know. This might not be good enough, to be perfectly honest, but I don't know if opponent is going to keep in Sickening Shoal. They might, because I have Lurrus, but I guess that's something to think about. They don't keep in Sickening Shoal. They should have just like no answers to Sprite Dragon. I don't even know if Sprite Dragon races, depending on the number of hollow ones, maybe. Oh god, yeah, they pitched Squee Horror. Okay, we're about to get outvalued by this Bazaar of Baghdad quite strong. So if we can resolve the Sprite Dragon, we should be in reasonable shape. But if this Sprite Dragon doesn't resolve, I really don't know how we're going to win the game. If they're going to be drawing that many cards every turn. I think I'm supposed to get an island here so I don't get wastelanded. So they can have Force of Will and they can have Sickening Shoal. Those are the two things that they can have. So they didn't have Force of Will, which means they only have probably 2 answers in their 75 to Sprite Dragon. So even if they're drawing a bunch of cards every turn, if I can just cast a bunch of spells, make a very large Sprite Dragon, it's definitely possible for us to win. What is the number we need to get to on this? Sickening Shoal is based on converted mana cost of the black card pitched. Currently, Unmask and Horror or 4. If we can get to a 5/5 Sprite Dragon, that would mean they would need double Sickening Shoal. So that's the goal here, chat. Oh gosh, they have double Bazaar. That's really bad for me. Oh, I guess true. That's Hogak is 7. You're right. We would need an 8/8. Okay, so there's like no way we're getting out of Sickening. I mean, they only have 2 Hogaks. They have much more horrors than Hogaks. So there's some value in still getting to a 5. But you're right. Hogak is a black card, so probably not ever getting out of range. The real problem here is opponent has double Bazaar, triple, I don't know what you call these, returners. So they're gonna get so many cards every turn. We might just not be fast enough, to be fair. Like, they're always gonna have this horror, so we do need to get out of horror range. That's kind of an interesting card. I don't think I'm allowed to cast it, though. I don't think the clock works out. Maybe the clock does work out. The problem with the casting it is they're just going to draw so many cards. I don't think this is going to be remotely fast enough. They just have basically the nut draw, right? Double Bazaar, triple returners. I think I have to start deploying artifacts here, and I just don't know what that's going to get for me, but this might just get like forced. I don't know. I'm sure they have negations or traps or something. I mean, our PO is just never resolving. Is the issue with like hoping for PO? Like I don't want to cast any more spells this turn due to Mindbreak Trap, Black Lotus. So I definitely want to draw Black Lotus next turn, and the big reason is so I can play Dragon and PO. I do think I'm just going to get Vigored, though, which would be pretty much the end of the world. Okay, I did not get Vigored. That's good. I still think this is a huge downhill battle because this is a very, very high roll from the opponent. Or uphill battle, not downhill battle. Downhill battle for our opponent, maybe. So they did bring in Leyline of the Void, which is worth noting. It's nice that we have Sprite Dragon and PO as a way to not play through our graveyard. They did pitch a Hogak. They have a Strip Mine. Yeah, it doesn't really change anything. We do have to play our Lotus before playing our Sprite Dragon now. We're just so far behind because of these. Are we gonna get unmasked? Or are we gonna... Oh, they're gonna play Hogak. Okay. Maybe we actually just can't even live. So we yeah, it's just too strong of a draw with us having... I mean, even if we had interaction... Oh, even if we had interaction, I don't know how good it would have been. All right, we're just going to go in and hope it all works out. We're going to bait a force by starting with a Sprite Dragon, and then we have exactly enough to PO afterwards. Though I just really don't expect this to resolve. Yeah, they have a Mind Break Trap. So let's see. Time to do some basic math. They have 11, 15, 19, 21 power. Even if I were to block, this is just not worth it. Okay, let's just go next. Okay, yeah, that was just too strong of a draw from our opponent with us having no graveyard-based interaction. I really don't think Remora is good against this matchup, so I think this is fine. I don't think that Bolt is very good either. Opponent will definitely have Sickening Shoals in now that we showed them Sprite Dragon, which is unfortunate, but I think it's necessary, especially if they're bringing in ley lines. Maybe it's not super necessary, but we're already bringing in jailers, so maybe they would already have known. I wonder if we're supposed to have Tinker. I mean, Tinker Blightsteel wouldn't even have been close to good enough in that game. So maybe it's not even that good of an answer versus them. If it was Tinker Sphinx, maybe it would have been good enough. Kind of an interesting thought. But Blightsteel is there for shops, I would assume, so kind of a different goal. This isn't really a huge deck that's being played. This is wow, this is an unfortunate hand, isn't it? Oh, this hand is so good if this was not a Volcanic Island. If this was a fetch land or an Underground Sea, we have turn 1 Jailer with Force backup. This hand is quite good. But however, we have drawn 3 black cards and do not have a black source. I don't think it's worth like Sapphire brainstorming and hoping it hits. I think that would be a mistake. So I kind of think I'm supposed to mulligan this hand. It's really unfortunate because this is like almost a snap keep, great hand, would play again kind of thing. I mean, what your percentage to hit a black source and 3 draws is... The problem is, the problem is like the fail case is you lose the game, right? You're on 1, they have no mental misstep. And you're on 2, your brainstorm is hitting you a fetch land. Not even a black source, a fetch land. Well, I guess a black source lets you vamp, so maybe I guess technically an Underground Sea or a Jet or one of the Lotus Petals is working for you. So let's think about that. You're on 2 Underground Sea, 8 fetch lands, 10 Petal, Lotus, 12 Jet, 13. 13 in 3, and if you miss, you lose. You also are exposing your Force of Will to not having a blue card to protect your Jailer. I'm gonna mulligan this hand. London Mulligan is broken. We should be London Mulliganing. This hand's not fantastic, but it's fine. Opponent kept another 7-card Bizarre hand, so I really don't think we have a chance. Double Horror. We definitely wish we had Jailer on turn 1 here. But we did not. At least, I guess it's not Double Horror, it is only Single Horror. Sprite Dragon is interesting, but it's literally uncastable, so... this looks quite bad for Justin. This matchup seems atrocious, but I didn't really think people played this deck anymore. At least we're not running into Mindbreak Trap this way, which is nice. If you go for Jailer on turn 1 off of Moxen, you do run your Force into a Mindbreak Trap. It looks like they have Force of Will backup, so if they let this resolve, it means they have Sickening Shoal with Force backup, which is really disgusting. If we can get at least to Flusterstorm protection, then maybe we have a chance. The biggest problem here is that even though we have a Jailer in play, they can still kill us with Hollow Ones. Because they kept a 7-card hand, they have a huge pile of cards to discard to this. So, I mean, I think this is another lost game, to be honest. I think if your opponent is keeping a 7-card Bizarre hand, it seems pretty hard for you to come out on top of that. Like, they clearly have Force of Will in their hand. So, like, even me going Force of Will on this thing is just not even close to good enough. because they can they can just pitch 2 cards for every spell, and it just doesn't fucking matter. Yeah. Unfortunately, if I did have a Moxen, then I would be able to Flusterstorm and protect this, but it just doesn't seem like that's happening. Oh, they also have a Hollow One follow-up. Yeah, that's pretty reasonable. I don't know. This seems like a complete mess. So here comes a question. Do I fetch a Volcanic and play a Sprite Dragon? Or do I fetch an Underground Sea and go get my Lurrus? This mana base is a little tight with no Moxen. Oh, I think we are supposed to. I mean, we can get if we get Wastelanded, which is just the end of the world, right? What are we gonna do about it, though? Watch us get like hit by the one unmask or something. I don't know. It's just seems like quite the battle. Bazaar of Baghdad, powerful Magic the Gathering card. Don't worry, we're also getting clapped. You literally are not allowed to say that, Slasher. You literally scammed everyone with shops. Yeah, they found a wasteland. This is, I mean, they're out of horrors, right? So there's a chance. We just need to hit a jet. I don't know. No, you'll never see that. I don't think I'm allowed to increase the clock by playing this with. Okay, they have another Force of Will. Interesting. I am gonna play this out. If they want to force it, that's fine. What's up, Mario? All right, so if we draw a Black Lotus, we might win this game. Because if we draw a Black Lotus, then we can go Lurrus Jailer. This game is not over yet, but it is really hard. Because we don't have another Underground Sea in our deck. So we actually have to hit Jet, Pearl, Petal, or Lotus. This increases the clock, but I don't think I'm not allowed to not cast it. It's not Dredge, it's the stupid horror one deck that no one plays that I literally can't beat. So, oh, I did hit the Pearl though. So, I definitely want to play this now to play around Trap. All right, so I go to 3 and then I can replay Lurrus, but is that even good enough? I don't think it is. They kept 7-card Bizarre hands in both games, and one hand had triple Squee, so what am I gonna do? This game, I played a Jailer. Oh my fucking god, really? Their hand was Force of Will, Mindbreak Trap. They activated Bizarre, hit Bloodgas, Wasteland. Like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? It's literally unplayable. Oh, that deck is really frustrating. Okay, chat, welcome back. It's round 2, Vintage Challenge. We were unfortunately dismantled in round 1. However, we can battle back. We can battle back. I got a cat. Kind of an interesting hand. I think I'm willing to keep this hand. It doesn't do anything, but it's got decent permission. I can go grab a Lurrus on turn 1 and replay a Lurrus on turn 2. I think this is fine. Maybe this is just a mulligan because London is so broken, but like I'm not susceptible to a wasteland. I've got an infinite amount of mana. I have good permission. The only hand that this is like super bad against is Dredge. And Patty doesn't usually play Bizarre. So I think this is okay. I mean, if they have a main deck Mindbreak Trap and they want to hit my Ruby, like, be my guest. No, I think I punted that last round of GeoGuessr because I think the sign on the street did look Eastern European language. So that was probably my own fault. Should have been a little more attentive. Okay. So, like I said before, I'm not 100% sure that this hand is a viable keep, but I think, you know, from what I know about what Patty plays, I actually think this hand has some pretty good game against most of the decks that Patty usually is on. Um, so I think we're like, what, one strong card away from this hand being fantastic? Yeah, okay. I mean, this is a pretty good hand against a Mana Crypt Underground Sea deck. I definitely don't hate having one of my main deck Flusterstorms. If we draw like a Remora, we get to buy a lot of time as well. Like if they're gonna tinker here, it's a huge win for us, right? Time Walk. All right, I'm okay with Time Walk just resolving. That's fine. How have I felt about Lurrus being back in Vintage? Yeah, it's perfectly fine. The only real it's not overpowered, it's not too good. The only question is, does it help the Breach deck so much that the Breach deck is broken now? And we don't have enough results to really make that conclusion. So I'm pretty happy with Lurrus being back. Preordain. I don't really believe that I'm going to be misstepping Preordains. We need to figure out if opponent is on a Pyroblast deck. So I would rather look to misstep things like Pyroblast, Ancestral Recall, or Sensei's Divining Top. A Sensei's Top would be really, really strong against us here because we're not really doing anything fast. Okay. I don't think they're... Let's see what they got here. Time Vault. Okay, so now we have like a Manifold Key that's also a really powerful draw. They're not on Lurrus, though, which means they're likely on Grixis Tinker or Esper PO. Which our hand is not too bad against. That is a draw now, isn't it, chat? That is a draw. That is an absolute draw. Now the question becomes, what do we do with this? The problem here is I currently don't have enough blue mana to protect my Lurrus when I cast it. A thing I could do is I could demonic for a Tolarian Academy. I could just demonic for a Black Lotus. Not a terrible draw. So I demonic for a Black Lotus, then I can go Black Lotus, Lurrus, replay Lotus. I have tons of stuff. The problem with going for a Black Lotus is I really don't advance my game plan very much. I could alternatively be going for something like an Underworld Breach or something that combos with Lurrus, like a Soul Guide Lantern, or even a Remora is not a bad choice. What about a Remora? There's no Tinker in our deck, so we do not have a Tinker to get. Not that I think that would be very strong because we were currently very low on colored mana sources. The problem with Remora is that, once again, I cannot protect it with Flusterstorm. That I would demonic, I would use my pedal, and I would not be able to protect my Remora with Flusterstorm. And I think that would be a huge mistake. I'm actually leaning towards Black Lotus. I think I'm supposed to get a Black Lotus here. It's awkward, but we have a decent amount of permission, so I think it's okay. I did not want to drop my Flusterstorm. Now I have Flusterstorm, Hercules, and Misstep up to protect myself from like PO, Tinker, Manifold Key, basically all of my opponent's best plays. And I have a threat on board that will clock my opponent. So I think we're like pretty far ahead right now. Vamp. So it's likely my opponent will vamp for a Manifold Key, a Tinker, or Counter Magic. I think I'm just going to let this happen. I think I should be able to beat the whatever they get with my current board. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's greedy, but I think turning off having my opponent take 2 damage, turning off their draw step, and attacking them is probably better than countering this with Mental Misstep. And I could be wrong, but with Time Vault in play, I feel like that's the line my opponent is going to take, and I feel like it's a higher upside for us to let it resolve. It's interesting. So my opponent must just be Esper PO. I mean, I love the deck, but yeah, I don't think I'm supposed to mental misstep this. I really don't. Like, if they get Tinker, I have Flusterstorm. And if they get Manifold Key, I have Misstep Flusterstorm. So, what up, Jim? Thanks for joining us. We're on a 5-turn clock with our Lurrus. We might even be less turns with the Mana Crypt flips. Lost a flip, 11, 4-turn clock. Yeah, I like letting it resolve. Yep, and I have a Hercules backup as well, so. Do I even Fluster Tinker with Recall? Yeah, I think it would be... Oh, it's Mana Gorger Hydra PO. Interesting. Oh, we got fucking lit. Oh, that was not what I thought was going to happen here. Oh yeah, we got wrecked. Okay, interesting. I didn't see that coming. I mean, what can they really do with this though? We have the active Lurrus. Aw. No, I don't think there's any reason to sack in response. They would just pass the priority and go to the next thing. Now we have an interesting question of, are we attack? Yeah, I think we have to attack this Karn. As much as I want to attack their face, I think attacking Karn just makes the most sense. All right, well, we still have Misstep and Fluster. We obviously no longer have access to Hercules Recall, which is a problem, but they won that flip. I mean, if they Tinker now, we're going to lose, so. Black? Is it just a Night's Whisper then? I don't know. Do we think they vamped for Karn? I wonder if we were supposed to misstep it. I'm surprised, to be honest, because I guess it makes sense when our entire board is all artifacts. I assume they're gonna get Tinker, or maybe they're just gonna get Key here. So I think we're going to make it through this turn. And after that, we want to draw a land, I think, so that we have... Told you, Slasher. You said to get good. See what they do. E. Black. Mana Gorger Hydra? No, Tinker. Tinker. I think Tinker is wrong. Oko? And an artifact? Oh, we lose this game. Wow. Surprised the opponent played it this way, but it's a really good line. I guess I was supposed to counter Vamp. I didn't really think that they had access to this, but I guess that's my mistake. I also am surprised they went for this. It's kind of sus, but it makes sense. I think we're dead. I don't really know how we could ever come back from this, to be honest. Like, I guess a Talarian. I don't really know. I can no longer attack. I can't kill off their things. They can never die to their mana crypt. I guess we just lost. All right, so I misplayed by not mental misstepping Vamp. I didn't think about Karn in the slightest. Because we're not going to ever lose to just Oko there. I just did not think about Karn. I don't think this is playable. I think we're just dead. Such an interesting line, but it's pretty good. Like, plays around Misstep, plays around Flusterstorm, plays around Pyroblast. Not that you would need to play around Well, yeah, I played around Pyroblast. The only thing it didn't play around was Force of Will, but you can't ever play around the Force of Will there. It literally played around Misstep. Like, they're always casting the Vamp. It doesn't actually matter. It's pretty interesting line. I'm surprised they chose it, to be honest, but it makes sense. They just found key off of that. Yeah. They have Fluster too? Maybe they just had... Oh, they have Ancestral. What? Yeah. Is there any way if I had a Repeal in my deck, this would be winnable because I would be able to bounce this Opal and kill the Karn. But I don't have a Repeal in my deck because I didn't change the list at all. I almost never play a PO list without Repeal, to be honest. Unfortunately, not an artifact anymore. I don't think anything actually gets me out of this. I can't actually whisper because of Knight's thing as well. I'm pretty sure I'm dead. Well, I'm not actually dead, right? Because opponent, if they play Lattice, they die. So let's continue playing. This is not an artifact creature. That is, in fact, an elk. Wait. So if they don't play Lattice here, then they're just sniping, right? But if they play Lattice here, we have a chance, so... Save the Oko activation. I mean... Maybe the Hercules recall just saves us. What? They already played their land drop pre lattice. So all they have left is a mana crypt. We get to Night's Whisper. We might win this game. We might win this game. We might win this game. Oh, they do have the replay opal. Ah, the elk is back. Forgot about the elk. What does the elk do? Preordain? Mystical, sure. For Yogg, maybe? Or for 4? I mean, it doesn't really matter, right? They can't draw it. My opponent played a Karn Lattice combo. The trick with the Karn Lattice combo is the whole board becomes artifacts, so Hurkyl's Recall becomes upheaval. Or one-sided upheaval, anyways. So we, by not conceding, we have, in fact, gotten ourselves a chance, which is pretty fun. I was super ready to concede, but I was like, wait a second, hold on. They went for Lattice? That's no good. I'm really, to be honest, I'm very impressed with the vampiric line that my opponent took. It really did make my not mental misstepping vampiric very poor. So I am very impressed about that. However, playing the Lattice it does open yourself up to exactly what I had in hand. So now we just have to see what the top of our deck looks like. I need help. I need help with this Night's Whisper. I need a lot of help here. I lose a mana if I do it this way, but I think that's fine. Oh no, I can rebuy it. Oh, I should have. Okay, we got it. Woo! GG. Woo! Out there. Okay. Ooh. All right. I didn't see that coming. But I'll take it. I'll take it. Sure, why not? So let's see. Opponent is on a Bug Tinker deck. I think we just want some Flusters. Obviously, Fluster can't hit Planeswalkers, so it would definitely be a little bit better to have Pyroblast here. I like the idea of like cutting Island, and I mean, I was gonna say cut Hurkyl's. I don't know. Maybe I'm supposed to keep Hurkyl's. Maybe I'll just cut a Soul Guide. They are a Yogg Will deck, but I don't know. We can go back and screenshot later. No worries. I think I usually cut Hurkyl's in this kind of matchup, but I'm not feeling it anymore. I don't know if it's right or not. I'm gonna go with this, I think. No, I like this card in my deck. But I don't really think I want to cut anything else. That's the problem, right? I'm pretty sure I'm not supposed to keep Hurkyl's in. I really don't think I'm supposed to. It worked out, but I don't think that's how it should really go. Yeah, let's cut Hurkyl. Let's cut Hurkyl. I know. Hurkyl's, you did your job. Now it gets to my sideboard. Yeah, this hand looks reasonable. Sure. I think on average, the Soul Guide Lantern will perform better in this matchup than a Hurkyl's will. Hurkyl's is kind of like your last ditch effort when your opponent goes Time Vault Key or Tinker Blightsteel, Tinker whatever. So I actually think the correct play on turn 1 here is to cast Night's Whisper. It could be. I think it's not Remora. We don't have the mana base, the mana to support Remora yet. I think this is a little bit better just to cast the Whisper. If they want to Fluster Whisper, like whatever, sure. It's fine with me. They definitely have Fluster, so. Okay, so they're going to Fluster. That's fine. Like, that means they're not protecting their Tinker or something. We have more plans to be made. True. Well, what? Why does it feel like every time I say something, you have a vamp? No. What's that fetch for then? Kind of a weird game. Kind of weird. Weird champ. Our hand's quite good. Pretty happy with where we're at right now. I don't even have to merchant scroll for ancestral. This is definitely a slam Remora turn. This is very much a slam Remora turn. Can't fluster that. Definitely not casting anything on my turn. I guess that's not true. I think I actually wanted to play this Soul Guide Lantern this turn. I'm not looking to cast Ancestral into open Flusterstorm, though, so I'm going to be holding back for a second on that. Oh, you're really going to cast things into it. Okay. What do you have? A Narset, then? Must be a Narset, right? We can bait the Fluster on the Ancestral and force the Narset. Yeah, I knew it had to be a Narset. That's the only thing that made sense to cast into it here. Narset is quite good against Remora. Ancestral, they Fluster. They didn't Fluster? Maybe they correctly eval'd here? I'm not really sure. Wow. Opponent is playing at a lot higher level than they usually play. I like opponent. They do pretty well. But I think they're playing pretty perfect right now. Besides the lattice, I guess. So... well, the only thing I can get off of my scroll is a PO. I guess I could have gotten a force. Yeah, maybe I'm supposed to go get a force or a flusterstorm. Yeah, I guess we should have pitched a PO. That's probably fair. There's no dig in this deck, no. It could only get a PO but it could get a force or a fluster. So I do think it's probably better than a PO with an Narset on the stack, especially when I had the soul read that they had a fluster. I think I'm supposed to crack this lantern and try to hit a blind force. That's really unfortunate. That is super sad day. Okay, well, now I'm dropping my Remora, and I also had half my hand turned off, but I do have a lethal Underworld Breach, so... Well, not lethal yet. I do need one more mana. Well, I actually have a Petal, so... It should be lethal. So if opponent doesn't find a Force of Will off of this Narset, they should just die. They found a Mental Misstep. Interesting. Not a Force, so let's see if we kill our opponent here. We found a Force? Sure. Underworld Breach. Petal. I mean, opponent correctly eval'd that Narset was more important than me getting an Ancestral. So, I mean, I think opponent played these games fantastic. I really do. Got there. Interesting. I am pretty surprised we were able to pull these games off.
I guess not game 2. Game 2, we were ahead from, like, very beginning. Game 2, we were very far ahead for basically the whole game. But game 1, we were basically in an unwinnable situation unless our opponent gave us the game. And they did give us the game, so I guess that's why you gotta play it out. I'm not normally one for playing it out, but for some reason there, I just felt like they were gonna play into it, and then it happened. So very cool, very cool, very cool. We'll definitely take it. All right, round 3, vintage challenge versus probably Jeskai. Let's see what happens. I can't imagine the Jeskai matchup is particularly great, but this hand looks like a trap to me. This hand does not seem quite strong. I mean, we could bait a Force of Will with our Remora, but we can't even keep the Remora around. We don't have a lot of mana. We don't have a lot of ways. To be fair, if we were to draw fetch land, maybe it's okay. But I think this is just not going to be good enough. This hand's obviously much, much better. We do have a turn 1 Lurrus if we want to. I don't think we would go for the turn 1 Lurrus just because we can have Pyroblast back up later. I think this hand's quite reasonable though. I'm going to mulligan away the we actually do have turn 1 Lurrus with Pyroblast back up. What am I saying? I don't know if we want to go all in like that. We can go Valk, Crypt, grab Lurrus, Black Lotus, play Lurrus, Lotus Petal is Pyroblast backup. And then we have a looping Soul Guide Lantern. Kind of in, man. I'm kind of in on that life. That's kind of something I'm into. Let's do it. Oh, man. All right. I'm going to go get my cat. I'm going to cast my cat. My cat should resolve. If it doesn't resolve, I'll make it resolve. Pitch to Daze. Nice. Glad we didn't wait. Last year? The question then becomes... I think what I want to do is just cycle my Soul Guide Lantern, right? In case my Lurrus dies, get enough value now. Interesting, okay. I mean, if they have a Lightning Bolt, it looks pretty silly that we went all in on Lurrus like that, but... Or Swords of Plowshares, or Deadweight, Lightning Bolt. Oh, Ancestral, that's a good one too, yeah. That is in fact also a good one for sure. Okay, I would take a land here just to play my Sprite Dragon. Rain Freeze. Wow, that's pretty interesting. If we hit, it's pretty interesting. I think the best play is to just bring back a Lotus and play a Sprite Dragon and then Brain Freeze myself. That gives me 9 more cards in the yard. If I hit an Underground, if I hit an not Unburial Rites, an Underworld Breach, we have a combo on the next turn if my Lurrus doesn't die. Maybe we should... Well, the problem is if I get my Lotus negated, I will be pretty sad. But I can't use Petal if I want to cast Breach this turn. So we gotta just go with it. Underworld, Black Lotus. Red, blue, Sprite Dragon. I guess I don't actually need to tap that. Let's freeze myself. Hit a breach. So I have lethal next turn with if my Lurrus is in play. Very cool. Very, very cool. Very, very powerful. I mean, if they even then, like I have an active Sprite Dragon going as well. Absolutely, absolutely. Big old border fan. They're just not out yet, so. Okay, they found a Pyroblast for my Sprite Dragon. If they also have a counter spell for my Underworld Breach. They do not. What's up, What's up, Raphael? How you doing? Got there. Beautiful. Hmm. That looked quite strong. That looked quite strong. Let's bring in Flusterstorms and Lightning Bolts. And I'm going to look for Island, Hercules, Outcome, Opal, maybe? It was a good cat play. That's a good cat play for sure. Maybe Sprite Dragon is actually what we want to cut. I don't know. Recurring Sprite Dragon is still pretty strong, right? What is stronger, Opal PO or Sprite Dragons? They don't even know we're on PO yet. I mean, they both died of the same thing, right? I just hate Sprite Dragon versus Pyroblast, but it's better when there's a Lurrus. I mean, you're just boarding it in an index where you don't want Lurrus as a companion, so mostly just shops, right? It's a two cards for shops. I don't know if I'm supposed to cut PO Opal or Sprite Dragons. I think PO Opal. All right, I have a cat. That's a pretty reasonable hand. Obviously, not the strongest, but. Oh, did I not cut enough cards? What? Oh, the Hercules and the Island never went out. Fuck. That's what happened. Like, kind of unfortunate. Basically, I wanted to like show you guys which cards I'm boarding out, and that does sometimes lead to me forgetting to move all the cards out. We'll definitely have to correct that after game 2 if we go to a game 3. It doesn't really seem to make a lot of sense to jam Sprite Dragon here, but I think the Nice Whisper plan is fine. Damn it. I hate when I do that, but it is what it is. Okay, they're actually going to counter this? Sure. Oh, hard cast days. That's pretty good value. I really am not at the liberty to play around days there, I don't believe. Arcanist. Yeah, that's a good one. Unfortunately, Pyroblast is going to be quite good against me. Ooh, I got the double counter. Yeah, Pyroblast Arcanist is quite good against Dragon, so maybe keeping Dragons is not great. Cool thing is I could counter both parts of an Ancestral. Oh god, there's 3 parts. Oh, we got around the Mystic Sanctuary. That's nice. What do you have for us, Senpai? Okay, so here's the double Ancestral, which we actually can match currently. Unless they have a Pyro, I guess. They do have a Pyro. The question then becomes, am I supposed to counter this Ancestral and make them flashback Ancestral over like a Pyroblast flashback? I think so. Or maybe I'm supposed to let them Ancestral and then let them choose and then, I don't know. I think maybe they'll just cast Pyro on this turn. Maybe this was bad. Maybe I'm supposed to wait and like give them 3 cards first. I don't know. 3 cards is a lot of information. I mean, they're going to resolve one of the ancestrals, but if they resolve the second ancestral, it means my Sprite Dragon did not get pyroblasted. Interesting. Think I can make lethal here? Probably not, right? I kind of want to just like cast the value Night's Whisper Breach. Maybe this is super greedy. Oh, they have a force for it. Okay. I mean, I'm gonna lose my largest Sprite Dragon here to Pyroblast. If I draw a Moxen, I might be able to go again with Breach. I'm not really sure. This is really rough. This Arcanist is quite good against my... Oh, they have... Ugh. Okay, well... I'm going to board out Sprite Dragons in game 3. If they're going to keep in Swords to Plowshares, I just want to take out all the creatures. Wow, so I can Night's Whisper here. Oh, they just drew Force of Will, Force of Will, Force of Will. Okay. Never mind then. Okay, sure. Why not? I guess that's what happens when you resolve one of your ancestrals, at least. So... if I hadn't had Sprite Dragons in my deck, I would have had a Pyroblast and I would have had a Night's Whisper. Would I have been in better shape? Possibly. They went top on their Preordain as well. Not ideal. Back fade in, sure. Take my Crypt, please. No. I mean, we have some strong draws. Underworld Breach is pretty good. Lightning Bolt might be fine. Scalding Tarn sucks. I think we're very dead in this game. Not sure what else I can do, though. I mean, I played all my spells. I could have chose... I don't really know. All right, now I can't even draw cards. So what do I even have left in my deck that does anything? They found their 4th Force of Will. They took the Mana Crypt? Are you insane? All right, we have a chance. I didn't even tap it because I didn't think they would take it. What? All right, this game might be winnable. This game, another one back? Another one thrown back at us? Another one? Another game of catch, maybe? That's insanity. I can't believe they did that. I didn't even... I was F6 because I just did not feel like opponent would ever do that. Okay, yeah, sure. Time Walk, go for it. I mean... they lost the flip. They're at 2. Our deck has a Tinker in the sideboard because we're playing a Lurrus in the main. Or the Lurrus is our thing. I mean, maybe we still lose, but I feel like opponent's going to have to take some extra turns here. I mean, maybe they have a Shattering Spree in their deck and it won't end up mattering, but... Yes, there is a cost to playing Lurrus in your deck. I know, chat. I know it doesn't seem like it. I know no one thinks there's a cost, but there is. No, opponent made a mistake. They took the crypt. They did realize after taking the crypt that was a big oopsie. But no. They've told me in chat it's a big oopsie. So they probably still have a spree in their deck somewhere that they can deal with this crypt, but it's gonna be tough. Because my new game plan is to pass the turn. I mean, to be fair, we did accidentally sideboard 62 cards in this game. So yeah, we did some mistakes. Some mistakes did happen, yes. A bolt will not resolve because my opponent has had 7 cards in hand and revealed their fourth they revealed their fourth force of will as well. So even, I mean, I'm not saying we don't want to draw a bolt because bolt's probably the best card we can draw, but I can't even cast this stupid Magic the Gathering card. All right, whatever. Just F6 and hope they die. Please die. Please die. Please die. Oh, they're going to Swords their own Lavinia to live. What a jerk. Oh, down to 1. All right, the force is off. Can they lose 3 flips in a row? I cannot cast my Force of Will, chat. I cannot do that. What are you talking about? Chat, this makes 0 mana. I control 0 artifacts. It's not I own. Chat. I guess swordsing the Dreadheart Arcanist is not really a strong play, huh? Oh, I love that we have a chance in all of these games. No, they have nothing. They made a mistake. If they find anything, it'll be a shattering spree. That's not good. I feel like I might only have 1 flip left now, chat. Losing this game after all of this would be so sad. They might even have another Swords to Plowshares as well. All right, this is it, chat. This is the flip. Though if they found another Swords to Plowshares, they will be able to save themselves. Flip. Oh, they're gonna Swords to Plowshares their mentor. All right, it didn't even matter. Jeskai 2 broken. I'm definitely taking out Sprite Dragons. I'm definitely taking out Sprite Dragons. I can't believe they left in this many Swords to Plowshares. I guess I did show them Sprite Dragons in game 1. And I have a Lurrus. I don't know. That's a lot of Swords to Plowshares, though. That's a shame. It's a damn shame what that is. They lost all 3 flips. They lost every single flip. It's too funny, man. It's too funny. If I had tapped my Mana Crypt, we might have won this game. If I had tapped my Mana Crypt, I think we may have won this game. But I was so shocked that happened, but yeah, it's too funny. Oh, Jeskai. They're down to 12 cards in their deck. If only this mentor had been the last card in their deck. Unfortunate, really. Unfortunate their mentor was only like 40 cards deep. I mean, to be fair, the Mana Crypt did work. The Mana Crypt won for me every flip. The Mana Crypt was fantastic. All right, let's board correctly this time. Sprite Dragons get way the hell out of my deck. The question would be Island, Pia, Island Opal, and Sparkles, Pia. Done. All right, we actually have the correct cards in our deck now. Not that it ended up punishing us or anything. I was not expecting them to keep that many cards in. This is a little bit risky, but I think it's a reasonable keep. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Why is there a Blightsteel in my sideboard? So I can put a Blightsteel into play. Why do you put Blightsteels in your sideboard? All right, no need to play straight into this negation. I'm gonna just Ancestral on their turn. The only problem with Ancestraling, can't play a Citadel in this deck, chat. The only problem with casting Ancestral here is I lose my red source for bolting my Arcanist, but whatever. It's uncounterable Ancestral. What am I complaining about? All right, so I'm gonna have to force this Arcanist now. I drew black cards. Yeah. Oh, they're not gonna go Arcanist? Oh, they are gonna go Arcanist. Okay. Yeah, I have to force this now, I think. Kind of unfortunate, but... Oh, I drew a... That's a really good draw. What do I want to do with that? I think I want to just get a black source and cast Whisper. I don't really want to get my demonic negated. DT for Jet is a bold play. No, we're not that lucky. We did win all of our flips. Unfortunately, opponent left in a bunch of Swords to Plowshares, and they saved themselves by swordsing their own creatures. I'm actually very close to a Lethal Breach here if I can find a Flusterstorm to protect my spells, which is cool. I might just like slam a Breach and make my opponent counter it as well. No Brainstorm, huh? Interesting. Are they going to take my Sapphire? All right, tap it this time, chap. Okay, so they have a negation, which is something to be aware of. I drew a Fluster. Is that game? Is that game? I cast Underworld Breach. I Fluster. I have one floating mana. I play a Petal, and I get There's 4 cards left in my yard. I DT for a Lotus. No. No? Am I short? No, because DT and Fluster both put cards in my yard, which puts me up to 10 cards, which is 3 spells. So, oh, but I don't have a Brain Freeze. So first I have to get a Petal out. 6 cards, two spells left. Then I DT for a Lotus, cast DT. That should do it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure my DT for Lotus line works. It's the exact same. Why would that matter? Oh, now I don't have enough mana, though. This is 3 mana. I'm gonna have to... I don't know. I still should have enough, right? The way I did it, I had the math. So I get 3 and I get a Brain Freeze, and then I have exactly enough. I mean, I knew the way I wanted to do it. I get the math. If I had DT'd, well, I can't DT. Oh, you're saying before even playing Breach, I DT for a Lotus to give me +1 mana. Okay, so I could have saved 3 cards. I knew that the way I did it, I had enough cards, but you're right. If I DT for Lotus first, I should save 3 cards in my yard, I think. Oh, for sure, Brosator, for sure. I can't believe the Mana Crypt in game 2. I didn't even tap it because I just never thought you would ever steal it. That was funny. I didn't think you left in so many Swords of Plowshares, so I just like boarded out all of my targets in game 3. Maybe I should have done that in game 2. I don't know. Yeah, crazy. This Underworld Breach is like so broken. Oh my god. Underworld Breach is just not fair. All right, chat, we're back. It is now round 4 of the Vintage Challenge. We're still live. Let's continue. We have a cat. This hand seems quite strong, so definitely going to keep it. I think what I'm going to do on turn 1 here is deploy my Soul Guide Lantern. I think that makes more sense than something like end step Brain Freezing or anything like that. We can definitely cycle this at end of turn once we realize what kind of land we want to go for, or we can keep it in play to maybe PO later. Got a couple of options, but I do think that this is the strongest play we can make on turn 1. Let's see what opponent is up to. They do have a Probe, which doesn't really tell you much at all. We have a Volcanic Island, so we can suspect maybe Breach, but it could be a couple other decks that have Volcanic Islands. Bottom on Preordain. This kind of doesn't... Volcanic Island does make me not want to crack my Lantern, because it can have some pretty powerful deterring effects. So I don't think I particularly need to crack my lantern right now. I have a land drop to be made. I have a plan. So I kind of think that we're good to just go to the next draw. Force is not bad either. I definitely want to just continue passing. Well, what about getting a Lurrus here? I think getting a Lurrus might be slightly better than going for like an end of turn brain freeze. Seems like a decent use of my mana, right? I have a force, I have a soul guide, so we're in like pretty decent protective shape. Okay, so it's Rug or Deathright, 4-color Deathright. It's a Tarmogoyf, that's fine. Tarmogoyf is pretty lackluster on this current board state. We found another breach. Now the question is like, what do we want to do? Do we want to just deploy a Lurrus, even though we can't replay the Soul Guide Lantern? Do we want to just hold open Force and step freeze and like look for a really strong Lurrus breach play? That's probably what I'm thinking. Jamming a breach does not do very much, to say the least. When we currently have a Misty Rainforest in our graveyard. All right, Island. Dak Fadian is quite a good draw here for our opponent if they have it. Oko is interesting. I think we have to actually look for a counter on the Oko just because of how bad it is if they turn off our Ruby. That's a reasonable. Playing Lurrus because of Dak and Wasteland is totally reasonable. Yeah. I mean, them turning off our Ruby here would be quite strong. They chose not to do so, which is really good for us because they also forced. So if we hit a really good brain freeze at the end of turn here, we might have a lethal Underworld breach. I mean, we hit a bunch of mana and an ancestral. All right, I'm gonna just sack this thing to draw an extra card. I'm looking for mana sources and maybe a Flusterstorm or something. Okay, blue card, blue card, blue card. Unfortunate. All right, well, we just have to jam. They would have to have had double force backup, so pretty unlikely. Yo, thanks, Sodas. Thank you for the prime. You're a powerful wizard. Hope you continue to enjoy the content. All right, hit a pedal. It's game. I mean, I don't have shit. I have a mental misstep and I have ancestral into force is what I have. I don't know if I could have played that slightly better. It's possible. Now I have Fluster Storms, so could I have played that better to play around Mindbreak Trap or Ravenous Trap or I don't know, something in the main that made no sense? Maybe. Possible. I didn't hit like a Flusterstorm or a Pyroblast till pretty deep in my library. I guess I could have gone for like Ancestral or maybe Demonic for a Fluster or a Force or so. I haven't had a Force, so a blue card maybe. I don't know. I probably didn't play that completely optimally. Maybe I should go back and look at that after this match. I'm not really sure. All right, so we're playing against like some kind of rug deck. I think a Flusterstorms makes sense. Still kind of don't hate the Sprite Dragon. I like taking out Vampiric. I don't want to take out Island this time. I think like taking out Vampiric Opal is like usually, or sorry, Vampiric Hercules is usually pretty strong. I don't really think you want Lightning Bolt unless we see Dreadhorde Arcanist. I guess Collector Roof, we might want Lightning Bolt. So maybe we do just have to have Lightning Bolts in our deck. What do we want to board out for Lightning Bolts? At that point, are you boarding out like Opal PO? How many opals are we allowed to cut when we only play 2 opals is another like pretty legitimate question. I'm not 100% sure. I should have watched more of Bryant's videos and see how he likes to board in these kind of matchups. But that's my own fault for not taking a little bit extra time to prep. Remora doesn't seem bad. I really don't think they have that many creatures. I think they're like a very Planeswalker spell heavy deck. I actually think Remora is quite good against my opponent. It could be they are on Deathrite Shaman, Tarmogoyf, and maybe they do have a bunch of creatures, but that's a hand, sure. I actually think Remora is pretty reasonable. I mean, I don't think they're on Deathrite. I think they're on just Rug. Yeah, that's fine. We don't play any ways to actually kill that card, right? So we're now looking at PO and Sprite Dragons as the way out. And we don't even have cards in our deck that like really deal with that. Maybe we're supposed to keep a Hercules Recall in for it. I doubt it. So we're just looking at a different game plan from here. A question becomes, are we supposed to cast anything? And I don't think the answer is yes. I think I would rather just play out Emerald, but not Lotus. Well, if I'm forced into something, maybe I need to play out Lotus now. I think we just play these both out and pass. I don't really want to crack my Lotus, but I also want to be able to play Ancestral with Flusterstorm backup, so. Is this going to be a Tarmogoyf? That would be fine with Justin. Oh, there are Collector Roofs. Okay, so let's go with Ancestral Recall targeting myself. I did not draw a Lightning Bolt. I think then I just am still going to PO this Emerald, maybe? I don't know if that's like a reasonable line, but seems fine. Okay, I mean, you got a Collector Roof. I only have one dead card currently. I'm not gonna cast this Nice Whisperer and overdraw. I'd rather be able to protect it as well, so. I do have a lot more cards than my opponent. Not a bad thing. Ren in 6 is something that I just cannot counter here. So yeah, you got a Ren in 6, unfortunately. So like I said, I took the deck list pretty much as is. I made slight changes just so I could test Sprite Dragon. I always play a PO deck with a repeal. I know that Bryant is not a fan of repeal, so that's why it's not in this deck. But I always play PO with one repeal at the very least. It's just a great catch-all answer. So it's just a slight difference between the way we play our decks typically. I have a feeling we would probably just get Wasteland locked out of this game, but so be it. Interesting. I'm gonna just let the one of these. Just let the land go. Oh, the land go. Maybe that's wrong. Maybe I'm supposed to let one of the Fluster Storms go. Yo, Builder Burn. Powerful Wizard. Thank you for the subscription. Hope you enjoy the content. Appreciate that. Sprite Dragon is kind of our game plan here, but it's quite bad against Pyroblasts. Not gonna Pyroblast this Brainstorm. I would rather be able to like hit attack Vaden or something. We're really lucky opponent has not hit any Wastelands. It's quite important to our continued success, I think. It's quite challenging for us to win this game if we start getting Wastelanded. Another oof. We don't care about that. That is not really hurting our next game plan here. Though it is a pretty decent clock, I guess. 3 turns currently. I think this Sprite Dragon should be faster, and even if it's not faster, it has the question then becomes, am I allowed to ponder here? I have to ponder because I don't want my Ren and 6 to get I do not want my Ren and 6 to kill their Ren and 6 to kill Sprite Dragon. That would be a huge issue. Okay. Although this Lotus Petal, these cards are too dead, I think. I would really like this Lotus Petal so that I can block Collector Roofs. I guess I can't really block Collector Roofs on this turn. Oh, thank you. Oh, I don't think I can actually block Collector Roofs on this turn because of Ren and 6. I guess I have to put this back. I think the best thing I can draw is a land, maybe. All in all, I just don't think I can keep that hand anyways. All right, well, I can't play that. So I guess I'm attacking here. I don't think I'm attacking this Red and 6, though. I think we're going face. All right. What are we doing now? What are we doing? They have 4 cards in hand. We have a bunch of protection. No. I think the clock is in a spot where we're not allowed to attack this Red and 6. Playing to Vault to pump the dragon is quite bad because it lets us tap out, and I have all these Fluster Storms and Pyroblasts. This dragon is our only road to victory at the moment, and we really cannot let it die. So we need to protect it at all costs. I'm pretty sure we're just supposed to race, so. And I'm pretty sure we're erasing this Ren and 6 emblem. Though, if they Ren and 6 emblem and have a Pyroblast, that would be bad. So maybe at some point we have to attack this Ren, but maybe that was the point you wanted to attack the Ren while you weren't getting significant damage in. And a little here, a little there, maybe, I don't know. I guess if they have 2 Rens, they could ping and then play a new Ren. That's fine, though. We would just force and get another thing. Though we have to be a little wary of Lightning Bolt, maybe. Hard to say. I don't know. I just think that, like, we're almost never attacking this anyways. I think we're killing them in the amount of turns we need. I think the problem with attacking Ren is we might just get raced by these collector roofs. Remora. Okay. I just have to go face place. Maybe I'm not supposed to. I can't do 11 unless I draw a time walk. I can just not attack. But then yeah. So if I had attacked Ren in 6, maybe I could have just not attacked this turn. I'm just going face. No, I don't think so. I think with an active Remora here, I'm pretty happy. It could go wrong. It could go wrong. Lightning bolt targeting me. I draw a card. Yeah, that is something that we were worried about. I have to force that. Oh, I didn't have to force? No. Yeah, I had to force that. Would have only been 4 off Fluster. Oh, I mean, I can't really beat them sanctuarying it, right? Oh, maybe I should have Flustered. Oh, no, then I would just die. Yeah, maybe I was supposed to go Fluster Force. I don't know, double Fluster still beats it, and I have 2 draws. So... Well, now double Fluster does not beat it. Huh. Yeah, maybe forcing was incorrect. Maybe I was supposed to double Fluster, but then I'm like super open to Pyroblast. Maybe that would have been fine. Renin 6 me, sure. Now I can't force. Can't misstep either. Okay, so I just die here. That's unfortunate. No, we don't win. We die here because of the number of spells they chose to play this turn. They had chosen to play a spell or something, maybe we would be fine, but I can't actually cast like a misstep or anything, so... So even if they... I guess if I had a Daze in my deck, we could do it. Yeah, that's like super unfortunate, I think. I don't know if I could have... Maybe I played it wrong. I should have gone for double Fluster on the first bolt. I guess I should have gone for double Fluster on the first bolt. That would have been better. We actually, yeah, do have 9 damage this turn. If for some reason this didn't work, this did work. Like we could have Daze theoretically, but we do have 9 points of damage on our Sprite Dragon, so the race did work. It was just the Lightning Bolt Mystic Sanctuary screwed up our race. Huh. So if I had chosen Flusters on the first bolt, maybe we would have won. I still think my attacks ended up looking quite good. I could have not attacked that turn, I guess. Maybe that was something I was supposed to do, was just not attack that turn. And gone for blocks. I don't know. I think I like the way I played it. I just, well, the thing I could have changed is I could have gone for Flusters on the first lightning bolt. Oh, I didn't have, yeah, I did. I didn't pitch double Fluster. So I definitely had the blue card for force. I think maybe I switched up the order of the counter spells that I was trying to use, and maybe that was the mistake. Kind of an interesting hand here. I mean, at least we had a Sprite Dragon, so we had a chance, right? We kind of had zero chance of winning that game if we didn't have a Sprite Dragon in our deck. So it does seem like Sprite Dragon was quite good there, right? Like they had two collector oofs and a cage. So we were never winning via breach or PO. So Sprite Dragon was quite good. And we almost had enough protection for it to work. I think what I'm going to do here is play out the stuff, but don't use any of it. No, I'm pretty sure we pitched a blue for our force of will the other thing, so I don't know. How much longer am I playing? I'm playing this whole tournament, which is 7 rounds. We're currently in round 4. Like pretty good hand here, as long as this isn't like a collector roof to start. That's okay. It's pretty good for their 5-card hand to have a run in 6 on turn 1, though. Gonna shore up any kind of mana issues they might have had. I think it makes more sense to deploy a Lurrus than it would to play a top. Now, I don't know if that's a true statement or not, but that's what I'm gonna go with. I lose to Daze and Force, I guess, but they would have to have Force blue card as their last 2 cards. We're talking about, is Lurrus resolving, which is a valid question here. I don't know the answer. If Lurrus does resolve, I'm going to play Lotus, but I'm not going to play top. Okay. Because I want to be able to hold open Flusterstorm. No, I think this is the turn you play Lurrus. We know that their hand is land to unknown, so I think that's just the turn you play Lurrus. Threatening like this Ren and 6 right now is pretty important, I think. If I threaten on this turn, it's never going to get high enough that it will live. But if I wait 1 turn, the Ren and 6 will live. So, okay. Can't do anything about that. So if we both have instants, then this will be a 2/3. If he has a lightning bolt, then they will trade. But I don't, again, I don't know. I don't think that's bad though. I don't think that's bad. I mean, I will lose a Black Lotus, I guess, until maybe I breach back my Lurrus or something. I think it's fine. They want to trade. No, it's not the littlest. There's O1 Goyfs as well. Okay, so they don't have anything. They have a land into unknown still. I definitely want to look at a top here. Maybe I should have cracked my Lotus to do that. Oh my lord. Okay. Go off, fam, I guess. That seems quite lethal to me. Mox goes up. Mox come down. So playing the land did mean I lost my academy here, which is obviously not ideal, but I don't think it's a huge deal. I think I'm just supposed to cast Night's Whisper. I still have the ability to breach. So I still don't have a lethal breach. I don't think that matters though with a Lurrus in play. I think I would rather just go for a PO or something. I don't know. What does this do for me here? I have 7 cards in my yard, so I can bring back Lotus, which would give me 3 cards. I'd be 1 card short. So I would have to cast a blue spell, but that's not a big deal. If I just go for like Brainstorm Ponder here and shuffle. Maybe that was like unnecessary. Well, now I don't have enough to PO, which is what I had intended on doing. But maybe I'm just supposed to play a Lotus and play like another Night's Whisper or something. I'm not really sure what I'm doing here, to be perfectly honest. I don't really know what the correct line here was, but I don't think I did it. I guess I could just go with Night's Whisper right now. Don't really lose out on anything by doing so. Like now I can just play Remora, Soul Guide, and Top. I don't think this was the best line, chat, but whatever. Maybe I am supposed to just lose my Ancestral and my thing to put a Black Lotus in play right now. Probably not, though. All right, Storm Count 23 past the turn. I don't know. That seemed like shit. I don't know what I just did. It looked bad though. I definitely do not believe whatever I did with there was optimal. I'm sorry to inform you, Herba, that you have elected to time yourself out via channel points. I will see you in 5 minutes. Alright, whatever I did right there does not seem like I played optimally. But I don't feel like that super matters very much. I think we played enough, well enough, right? Yeah. I'm here. I'm in the chair. I'm sitting upright. Don't worry, chat. I appreciate that you're looking out for me like that, but hold on. Let's use. All right, so now I have a Talarian Academy, and I can just cast Black Lotus from my yard, cast Underworld Breach, PO my whole fucking thing, and then game. We are very much doing the winning at the moment, yes. Going to draw a couple cards on this turn. Oh no, so many lands. Oh, so many lands. GG's. Very nice. Very nice. Okay, this deck seems quite strong. But how much have we thought the deck seems strong due to the Lurrus? How much do we think the deck seems strong due to Breach? And how much do we think the deck seems strong due to PO? What would you guys think? What do you guys think? I guess we also have to evaluate Sprite Dragon, right? Like, has PO won us any games? Or has it just been Remora, Lurrus, Breach, Sprite Dragon? I think it's just been Breach, right? I don't really feel like PO has done very much. Though you have to also evaluate the Mox engine, right? How good have the Mox engine been towards our Breach plan? And I feel like that has been good. The Sprite Dragons have been reasonable. They've been like somewhat of a liability at some points, but they've given us opportunities to win games we would not already won. So I think everything in this deck has been pretty strong except for PO, right? But we also haven't had any draws that were like Mana Crypt, Mox, Opal, PO. So we haven't had any of those kind of draws. Interesting to think about. We are recording. Let's do this. So now we're in round 5 of the Vintage Challenge. Playing Cap Breach PO. A terrible hand, not an unreasonable hand, not a strong, it's not super strong hand, but I don't think this is a hand that I would be willingly to put back. Keep. See what we got. What do you got, opponent? Windswept Heath. Now that means some very specific things. Highly likely to be Bant Archon, but there are other human and Thalia variants. But if this is going to be an ancestral on my upkeep, it most likely we just have a Bant Archon with a strong ancestral draw. You hate to see it. Actually hate to see it. That's a good draw, though. That is a solid draw on Color Moxen. You love to see that. Let's see what opponent has got in their hand. 8-card hand from the opponent. Okay, we won't see what opponent has got in their hand. I kind of want to... it's tough, because I want to brainstorm and find some more action, but I also want to have a bunch of lands, because opponent is like a wasteland deck. But I also don't want to get like an Underground Sea and cast a Night's Whisper this turn and run right into that. But I also don't want to have a bunch of fetch lands in my hand if they deploy an Archon. So there's like a lot of conflicting things happening here. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to brainstorm, though. Wow. Interesting. Interesting. So I could put back something like Land Whisper and go for Island, Mana Vault, Lotus Petal, Pia. It's just not very strong is the problem. It's just not a strong play. I think I'm gonna put back Land PO and go Island Vault Petal and just hold open PO, but not actually use PO. Could be wrong here though. I feel like there's a million ways my opponent's hand can ruin me. But I don't know how else I wanted to really play this. Around days. Yeah, it's not ideal. This is not ideal start. Opponent definitely had a stronger start with their ancestral into misstep. We just have to. We really don't want to see an Archon is basically the end problem here. But they're just gonna slam an Archon or a Collector Roof, even worse. Definitely just gonna go for the draw 2 here. Doesn't really get much better. No, we have a cat. We have one cat in our sideboard. Yeah, opponent's draw is just super strong. I guess technically any draw that has an ancestral is going to be super strong, but ancestral into Mox Oof with Flusterstorm backup is really bad for us. It's probably a very challenging matchup, especially when I don't respect them in the main board with like 0 lightning bolts or anything like that. I mean, this deck actually has no respect for a Collector Roof deck. It actually plays just no lightning bolts in the main, no repeal, no nothing. Like if your opponent plays an Archon or an Oof, you just like have to try to grind through it, and it's just it's basically lets these decks exist. Like this deck is not super strong, but if people are gonna play decks like the deck that I have today, then you're allowed to do that. Like my deck is just it does not respect it in any capacity. It's really sad, actually. Like this card's not even very good against them. They're basically at their core a creature deck. We only have 2 lightning bolts on the board too, so it's really not going to get that much better. It's just a really bad matchup. We've hit a couple quite poor matchups today between this deck and I don't even know what the point of holding this open is. I probably should have like searched for Lurrus that turn. Not that it would have really changed anything, but yeah, we're just never going to beat an ancestral oof flusterstorm draw with this deck unless our starting cards are really strong as well. I don't really think we're a board in. We're just boarding in lightning bolts, really. Okay, Lantern's quite bad. Hercules is quite bad, just like this. I don't really think this is a Tinker board in plan. I mean, we could maybe board in Needle versus Wasteland. It seems quite ambitious. But Remora is, I think, quite poor. So maybe it's fine. Maybe we're just supposed to have Cluster Storms in. We board in Colossus against Shops. I don't even think Needle is like good versus them. Maybe I'll board 1 Needle, 1 Flusterstorm. This matchup looks atrocious. If they have anything like their starting hand in game 1. Yeah, they play Swords to Plowshares, and they're likely to leave it in because of Lurrus. Lurrus kind of hurts our idea of playing Blightsteel. They're also an Oko deck, a multiple Oko deck. I think if we're bringing in Jailers to block, it's a real big problem. I don't really think that's worth it. All right, let's try again. I got a cat. I got a really solid hand, but it does run into things like Mind Break Trap and Force of Vigor. I can technically play around Trap on my Whisper by fetching, but I think fetching is quite poor. So I think I would rather just not bait a Vigor here. Maybe I shouldn't have baited a Vigor. Maybe I should definitely have just gone Opal Crypt Chat. God, this draw was anemic. I think what I want to do is just fetch an island and grab my Lurrus. No, fetch a sea and grab my Lurrus. No, fetch an island and grab my Lurrus. All right. Well, I have an answer to their first creature, but kind of only their first creature, and only if they like have nothing. Yeah, that's fine. I don't care about that card. I'm currently looking for something good. PO is actually good here. Land is not good here. Um, Pretty sure I just want to go play out my Lurrus. They want to force Lurrus. I just do not care. It cost me no cards to have this in my hand. They are giving me 2 cards for nothing. And the card doesn't even do anything. I have no cards in my graveyard. It's completely useless. So if they were to force that, I would just feel really, really happy. Unfortunately, they did not force it. Gotta do. This is an Archon. I'm definitely not going to. Oh, the swords. Yeah, this is why I didn't want to bring him. That's another reason why I didn't want to bring him Blightsteel. That's fine. Don't care. If they Archon here, though, it's quite good for me as they've already cast a spell, so I can just Lightning Bolt it. Like they're holding up negation, maybe. So I technically could Breach a Whisper here, right? 2 more fetch lands into the yard, Breach a Whisper. We might have to. Oh, Upkeep Ancestral again? Fucking unreal. All right, well, this is a problem. It's a problem. Thanks, Travis. Appreciate that. My opponent has had multiple Ancestral hands, and I have had none. So it seems like it'll be quite a hard game for me to win. Don't really see what we're going to be able to accomplish here, but I guess I'm going to try and cast an Ice Whisper with this Underworld Breach. They at least tapped off of negation. To be fair, we did draw, what, 4 lands, so. Drawing 9 pieces of 1, 2, 3. 7 pieces of mana is not going to be very conducive to us winning games of Magic. It's just a very vintage game where we don't have even close to the cards needed to win. We have what, 3 spells out of all the cards that we have drawn this game. We've drawn 4, or not drawn 14, but we've looked at 14 different cards and 3 of them have been spells. We just so happen to have a Lurrus in our sideboard, which made it all work out, but that one's quite poor for me as well. I can't even draw PO. Maybe I'm supposed to bolt in response in case they hit misstep. Seems a little sus. They hit Force of Will. Hilarious. Okay, maybe I mean, even if I had bolted, if they hit Force of Will, it's just gonna be good anyways. I'll make you force though. Alright, they let it go. Maybe they just know we have nothing. PO is our best draw. Sprite Dragon's kind of garbage, but we'll draw it. It's fine. Maybe they'll force it. Kind of doubtful. They probably have like a bunch of Stranded Swords to Plowshares in their hand. So this could have been a Pyroblast or a Night's Whisper if we had played Bryant's deck. So maybe let's see what they do. This could have been really, really strong. And it's instead of Sprite Dragon. So maybe a poorer choice. Bad deck building. Another, okay, yeah, Lavinia, sure. And swords number 2. Yeah, giving my opponent like multiple swords targets seems quite poor, but hmm, they kept so many swords in just by seeing a Lurrus because like we could have I don't know, Bobs or something. So yeah, these sprite dragons look like they could be an issue. We have drawn abysmally in this game. What a horrific game. Not much we can do, really. We could have mulliganed, right? What was our starting hand? No, our starting hand was quite strong, right? We had a like 5 mana and a Night's Whisper. I think our starting hand was like quite good. We know they have a Force of Will hard cast, so we're looking for an opportunity to Pyroblast this Lavinia and tap them out. I'm gonna just take this 3 and look for like an end of turn. Maybe I'm not even supposed to do that. That's fine. Now they have just maybe I'm just supposed to hold this so that I can resolve a spell. That might actually even be better. There's no reason to brain freeze, right? Except for what good does brain freezing do? Can we get anywhere with brain freezing? We can't brain freeze ourselves. Maybe we could technically brain freeze ourselves, but we don't really have that many ways to bring things back anymore. We have 2 left in our deck. So we could technically brain freeze that. I mean, if we brain freeze ourselves, it means that if we do draw one of the other breaches, it's quite good. I don't know if that's like worth it though. I don't know. Maybe it is. Putting 6 cards in my yard. We do want the breach to be lethal if we do hit it, so maybe it's necessary. We did mill a fluster, but we also milled an ancestral. All right. I mean, we milled a bunch of dead cards. The only card in the 6 cards we milled was ancestral, so kind of worked out. So we're looking for a PO or a breach here with Pyroblast backup. I don't think I'm supposed to kill this Lavinia when I know they have a Force of Will. I think I'm just supposed to coin flip on the Mana Crypt and hope to draw something and be able to Pyroblast the Force of Will. Maybe I ham because of this stupid Sylvan, I guess. I don't know. We've cast what, 2 spells this game? Or 2 non-mana sources? 3? We've cast. There's no reason getting worked up over it. It just wasn't in the cards. Wait, they chose to only draw 1 card from Sylvan Library? How can that ever be correct? Unless it was 3 lands, I guess. I think they have Time Walk here. What it looks like. Okay, they don't. All right, well, I mean, we have another draw step. We can beat 1 Force of Will. We can't beat multiple Force of Wills. Oh, no, I died to my Mana Crypt. I only won one of those flips. What would we have drawn? We would have we would have drawn another mana source. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 mana sources. 1 removal spell, 1 breach, 1 whisper, and 1 pyroblast. I mean, I know the matchup is hard, but it's not that hard. It's not really that bad. Yeah, don't forget the freeze. True, true. I mean, we do have a lot of air in our deck. Our deck does contain a lot of air, but it does also contain some like powerful, draw 5s. Oh well. What are we gonna do? That should knock us out of top 8, but we're gonna play the whole way through, see what happens. All right, here, round 6, vintage challenge. We're dead in the water for top 8, but we're gonna battle it out. Let's get a cap. Oh, this hand is not acceptable. Try again. No, I think this one is just not very good either. It's missing too many things. I guess technically we're missing a brain freeze for a lethal, right? Maybe this is a keep. I can play and spin a top on turn 1. I have the ability to play an Underworld Breach, and I can spin into a blue card if I need to. All right, I'm in. Let's play it. I'm down. Let's try it. Maybe I should have sequenced this in a way that I didn't get Mind Break trapped, but whatever. Too late. Okay, what do we find? What do we find? What do we find? All right, so what we'll do is we'll keep the blue card on top, and then at the end of turn, we'll spin, and we'll get the land instead, and then we'll have to see where we want to go from there. I do think that having the land is the most important of these 3 cards, though the Remora could be quite good. My record should be on the screen. All right, a Soul Ring opponent. Okay. I do kind of think I want this Remora then. I wonder if I should just play the Remora off the pedal instead. It might buy me significant time. Oh, it's shops. I see. I'm gonna let that resolve. It is gonna make a Underworld Breach combo with pedal quite hard though. Ugh. Oh, this is bad. Pretty bad. I don't really feel like I want to draw and force though. I just want that fetch land. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I should have gone for the force. I don't know. I feel like my opponents have had drastically better hands than me in this tournament. We've gotten quite rolled multiple times now. We need to draw Ancestral more often is the key, I think. Just kind of important. It's pretty important these days. This is a 7-card hand from our opponent too. Okay, Ravager Shops. Good to know. Good to know. I can't let that resolve. I'm absolutely not allowed to put Lurrus in hand there. That is a correct analysis. I think we're just dead in the water. I don't really see how we're going to come back from this game. Like, opponent has so much mana, has great lock pieces. We're so far behind. They could easily just play like 2 more Revokers, right? Oh, what the hell? Okay, so it's Golo. It's what? So it's a Golos deck that has a factory and Revokers in it. Okay, I think I am actually supposed to fetch away this top. It is just like too useless at this point. I'm gonna, let myself be susceptible to Wasteland just so that I can, I don't know, get my Lurrus or something. Okay. Though it doesn't do anything currently. I think I would rather just get my Lurrus right now. I don't know. Maybe maybe I'm supposed to fetch an island. The problem is if I fetch an island, I can't actually play Lurrus. So yeah. I mean, I wanted to give this deck a try. I really don't like Breach, though. I would rather play kind of anything else. So I'm definitely going to try the... Yeah, it's actually just worse Breach. I'm definitely going to try something else next time. What the fuck is happening? Why is there a cranial plating in this deck? How much is this going to hit me for? We may die to our mana crypt flip here. This is not exactly what I thought was happening in this game. They played a 3-mana do nothing, but then they also slapped a plating on a factory. Okay. What? I mean, we have to win another crypt flip, but I mean, I think we're still dead. But we can try our best, I guess. Wait. Could I have played the Lurrus here? I should have played the Lurrus here. Maybe I was supposed to just play the Lurrus. I was probably supposed to play the Lurrus. That was probably the better line. What? No, they're gonna stand up and attach, and then they're just gonna replay everything. Yeah, I guess playing the Lurrus was the better line. We do want a Hercules, but they can just replay everything, so Hercules doesn't really actually matter. So like Lurrus blocking would be the same as Herculing, so it really was it was probably not as good. They also would have gained us 3 life, so maybe we wouldn't die to our crypt, though they probably just would not have attacked, I would think. Well, if we hadn't taken our Lurrus, sure. If we had chosen to end of turn Hercules our opponent and then top deck a PO, that would have been a winning line. But that's a hard line to legitimately take, right? Like pretty much impossible for me to take that line. All right, I lost a flip. I definitely missed it. I made a mistake here, though. I definitely should have played my Lurrus. Okay, so Tinker's Citadel time for the first time this tournament. This kind of seems like a Lightning Bolt matchup, possibly. Definitely don't need a Soul Guide Lantern, a Misstep, Pyroblasts, Flusterstorm. I don't even really like Remora that much. It's not terrible, but it's kind of bad. Maybe I'll just take out a Probe instead. I'll keep one Remora in. Oh, actually, maybe we'll keep Remoras in over Night's Whisper. Night's Whisper is a hard thing to stomach in this matchup as well. Maybe something like this. Try this. Overall, today, the deck has kind of felt like a Breach deck with a lot of fluff in it, right? It doesn't really seem like we are making our deck better by adding all of these artifacts and not having Tinker. I mean, I'm not allowed to mulligan this hand, but geez, does it not do anything? I mean, Lurrus has been fine. It's just like the Moxen PO cards that we put in our deck. I'm not really... You know, there's literally a showcase next weekend, and this Grafdigger's Cage bug still exists. This bug cannot exist during the showcase. The Breach deck doesn't typically play full set of Moxen, no. Well, we've also just like never drawn a PO, right? Like we've never had a hand that was like a traditional PO hand where we had like multiple Moxen and a PO on turn 1. Holy moly. I mean, my opponent's hands have been very, very good. My hands are not great, but they're certainly playable. I think I want to brain freeze myself here. Just playing, not pat. Come on, opponent. Like, at least go to the next phase. Like, don't let me play with all this mana open. Oh, I guess I'm not brain freezing anymore. Well, no, I should still probably brain freeze. I have an active Hercules. It's been bugged for a couple of weeks now. So I milled over like 3 POs, which is not good. Oy, oy, oy. Have I ever won a grip flip? Nah, that's not something we do here. We don't win crit flips on this channel. That is not a thing. My mana crypt is very prolific at always dealing 3 damage, no matter who controls it. To be fair, we did have our opponent control it for a while today, and it did hit them 3 times. So maybe we should be playing mana crypt donate. That might be the actual play, right? If we just play mana crypt donate. I feel like they should be eating something here, like at least eating this crypt, right? Okay, good. I mean, this game is super winnable. Like we have a very PO centric draw, so if we can draw one of our 2 remaining POs, we're in like super good shape. If we draw an Underworld Breach, we're in super. I lost another mana crypt flip. My God. To be fair, our hand was action light, and I chose to keep it because it had so much mana, and hoping we would draw action, but we have not drawn any action. Our deck doesn't have that much action in it, but it does have some like some strong ones. Maybe it was a greedy keep. Could be a greedy keep. See if they go up to 6 here. I feel like they should eat, go to 6. No, they need to go to 7 really. So go to 5. That's fine. I will go to 5. I would love to. Maybe they should go 1 more here so that I would have gone to 4 and I couldn't like crack this fetch. All right, Mana Crypt, how are you feeling today? Won the flip. Fantastic. PO? Of course not. Of course not. All right, so now we actually have no breach lines because they're just going to replay this Grafdigger's Cage. So maybe I should have just bounced at the end of turn on that turn. I did mill 2 of my 4 POs. Yes, this is a true statement. Maybe I was supposed to Hercules on the end of their last turn, actually. Do I have a car? Like in real life? I do own a car, yeah. Interesting. I mean, they're just going to replay everything here. I'm still going to just die to my Mana Crypt. I'm pretty sure I'm just dead here. It's unfortunate we don't have things like I mean, even Yagwa would be dead. It's really just the 2 POs, right? What other draws do I have? I mean, I have Tinker for Blightsteel. No, I don't have Tinker for Blightsteel as a cage in play. I got like nothing going for me. Lost another crypt flip and drew another piece of mana. Okay, well, I don't know. I mean, I guess I could have mulliganed this hand, but it just didn't feel like a hand I was supposed to mulligan. I don't really like this deck very much. I don't know. Maybe I wasn't supposed to keep it. It felt like a reasonable keep. It's definitely something I've kept in PO before. To be fair, if I hadn't brain freeze myself, I would have drawn a paradoxical outcome. So maybe that was the misplay. I don't know. It's kind of a at any point I could have drawn a paradoxical outcome. I could have drawn a top at any point. Looked at my top 3 cards. You know, I don't know. Doesn't I don't know. I don't know if I played that wrong or I just was unlucky. I'm not really sure, actually. All right, this is it, chat. This is round 7, Vintage Challenge. Trying to get a win here, and hopefully we will make it into prizing so that we can, get some play points back. We do probably need to win this game, though. That's a good way to start. I am going to try to wake up tonight and play the 3 a.m. challenge as well. I've been pretty sad the last couple weeks where we haven't gotten data for the 3 a.m. and I've been wanting to do that. Blue, red, Dreadhorde Arcanist, I assume? No? Interesting. Ancestral on my upkeep? Of course. Of course. Ancestral with Pyroblast back up on turn 1. I don't know why I expected any differently, to be honest. Alright, what do we want to do here? What do we want to do? I don't want to cast Ancestral. Unless I'm going to... maybe I want to cast Flusterstorm. Or maybe I want to Merchant Scroll for a Flusterstorm. Maybe that's what we want to do. Maybe we want to go Flooded Strand, Jet, Lotus, Merchant Scroll. Get a Flusterstorm. And then go Ancestral Flusterstorm. Maybe that's not unreasonable. But maybe we don't really want to do that on our turn, though. I think merchanting for a Fluster should be better. I also don't think we need to go for it off of this Lotus right away. This could get negated here. I would definitely just Pyroblast. This is last round today. Yep, 7th round. That is an issue with going for our current line, but then we can go Ancestral Flusterstorm. I don't think they can go Deck Faded next turn unless they have another Moxen, though. I mean, they might just Pyroblast this, which I think we would be okay with. Maybe not. I mean, that did successfully draw the Pyroblast that we knew about. I didn't know, but we thought about. I guess now they can definitely play a Deck Faded. I guess we have to cast Pyro on this. Maybe this is bad. Maybe this whole sequencing is really bad. I don't know. I'm not super thrilled with how that went. Oh, that's kind of interesting. I kind of like this over... I just don't think casting... Oh, they were tapped out. Maybe... Or they were F6. Maybe I should have Ancestraled then. Dreadhorde Arcanist? Of course. Oh, their own Sprite Dragon. Okay. Sure. We got a battle. All right. I think I played this game fairly poorly then. Especially now that they... Yeah, I think I misplayed this game quite substantially. Yeah. I guess we were supposed to just cast Ancestral and not care about negation last turn. I think I'm just supposed to cast Ancestral now. Even though I made a mistake, I think. They did not shuffle and drew off of Ponder. Maybe I'm just supposed to get just go get a Lurrus here. Maybe that's a better choice. I'm never gonna block, I don't think, so I might as well just... I shouldn't do that in that order, probably, but... They were F6'd again, though. Maybe I should just be, like, cracking fetches to see if they're F6'd. Time Walk? Sure. I don't think we're gonna die to this Sprite Dragon right now. We're gonna die to that, though. Okay, well, this is a very easy spot for me to Ancestral target myself, so we're going to do it. I don't think they have anything in their hand, and I'm gonna try to draw into a blue spell. I fucking missed!
Holy shit. All right, I thought we were going to win this game by a lot right there. Because all I need to do is hit a blue spell, force the Arcanist, and I'm like scot-free going to win the game. But now we're fucked. Because now they're just going to flashback Ancestral and we just can't come back from this. It's going to be really hard. It's going to be really hard. Like if we draw a PO, maybe if we draw a PO, I don't know. This was really bad though. I needed to draw a blue card there. I think we actually like recovered pretty well. That's so many misses. It's just so many misses. Look at opponent. They haven't even cast Ancestral yet, and the storm count is already 3. We might die this turn actually if they find like lightning bolt. Dig through time into lightning bolt, kill me. I mean, we resolved an Ancestral recall. We just didn't draw a blue card. This is like what am I supposed to fucking do? We resolved the Ancestral. And they found, yeah, we're dead. Just dead. I mean, have I just been very unlucky recently, or we wouldn't have even drawn into anything? This deck has too much air. I mean, blocking would not have done anything there. All like they have an Arcanist with a Pyroblast or an Arcanist with a Bolt. Like blocking is not happening. I mean, we were gonna die even if Ancestral resolved. Like we just had no action again. Am I playing badly? Do you guys think I'm playing badly? Because I mean, I'm willing to accept that. I feel like I might be. I don't think I played substantially bad today, but I definitely could have played. I don't know. I'm not really sure. Yeah, I mean, I could have fetched to found out that they were F6ing. Yeah, I definitely could have done that. I didn't really play to that though. Maybe this is another instance of Justin playing too fast. I don't know. Like, it's hard to really want to slow down and like think of every minute way to gain 0.1% advantage when you are dead for anything. But I mean, you're not wrong though. I could definitely have tried to figure out if they were F6 and then try to force through an Ancestral that way. But I did resolve the Ancestral in this game, and the Ancestral didn't find a blue card, so I still would have lost to Time Walk, Dreadhorde Arcanist. So, though maybe I would have not attacked or something. It's kind of just been like that today, though, hasn't it? I feel like we've made reasonable choices that just don't think none of them have really worked. Kind of how the way I'm looking at it, but maybe I should go back and watch all the VODs for this event. Maybe there's a lot to learn from them. I think if anything was the problem today, it would have been my mulliganing decisions. Because I didn't realize how much air we had. We have a lot of air. I guess this is very similar to a PO deck in the amount of air you have. But it feels like we have a ton of air.
So far, I would agree. I don't believe this deck seems significantly better than playing regular Breach. All right, opponent, I see you. Not a bad mull of 5. Here's a question. I'm gonna get my Lurrus, I think. Is that, yeah, if they steal my mana crypt, that's not a huge problem. I guess in this case, I definitely should have played out my Academy. I didn't play out my Academy because I thought I wasn't going to play out my mana crypt, but I actually ended up playing it. I mean, I guess I still would have had to tap my Academy to get the Lurrus, so it's actually no different. I can't actually hold up Double Fluster anyways. I mean, I think I played a similar amount of draw spells in my PO deck, though I do play some like number of repeals and cantripping things. They did take my mana crypt. Interesting. I think I'm super happy with that. Am I not like really thrilled with them taking my mana crypt here? Not only does it increase the clock, but it means they didn't activate their DAC for a turn. Like them not activating DAC is perfect for me. I mean, anytime they're just not, I mean, you know, I can draw that and it doesn't work out, I guess. I mean, now the problem with them stealing here is they know I had a Lurrus, and now if they plus their Dak Vaden, I'm going to kill their Dak Vaden. Doesn't that seem like a mistake? I mean, they can actually play through my Flusters better now because they have a ton of mana, but they had a ton of mana anyways. I feel like I don't vibe with the way. Thing. I guess if they have a lightning bolt here, it's pretty annoying for me. But I would probably just PO back my Lurrus and my Petal. So I can brain freeze myself here as well. I kind of think that's a viable option. Just go Petal, Petal, brain freeze, target myself. I guess that doesn't let me replay anything this turn. But next turn I can start. Okay, I found a breach, so I have lethal next turn. Seems good. Maybe. Yeah, if I hadn't replayed my Petal, though, I would not have hit the breach, so that works out pretty well. They have about 1,000,000 mana, though, so my double fluster isn't great, but this seems fine. Yeah, I mean, I agree with Chad. I'm playing pretty fast just because I'm not super tuned in, but maybe I should be more tuned in. I should be trying to get better practice. The thing is, I don't really see myself playing this deck ever again, so I'm not sure how much I care. This doesn't feel like a deck that I would sleeve up for the showcase next weekend. I don't know exactly what I'm going to sleeve up for the showcase next weekend, but it doesn't feel like it'd be this deck. If I was going to play PO, I would probably just play Esper. How am I doing? I'm doing okay. We've had a really fun stream, to be perfectly honest. Um, I've had the stream has been good. We've had some cool games. We've had some funny moments, you know. And we played GeoGuessr between rounds, which has been pretty fun. I actually think the GeoGuessr has been more fun than the actual Magic, but oh, RS, I'm gonna throw now that you said that. Yeah, I don't know. It's been an okay. The deck seems like very medium. Like the breach part of it seems quite strong, but the PO part seems pretty mediocre, and it also makes the deck full of fluff. So yeah, I mean, we did win one match because our opponent misplayed. This is a true statement. We almost won two because of it. I mean, my this Sinister keeps telling me my keep was bad, but I'm pretty sure my keep was good. I don't know. Like, not playable. These hands are so bad. I know this turns off my academy, but I'm pretty sure I would rather have an academy than an opal. Hmm, maybe. I mean, I should definitely play Doomsday. Doomsday is insane, but I don't. I just don't enjoy playing Doomsday or Breach or Pyroblast. Stop messaging me, Sinister. No, I haven't tried Lurrus Doomsday. I don't really think playing something that's probably worse than something is usually a worthwhile use of my. I don't have a lot of time, so okay, opponent, you got me. You got me. This is gonna go so poorly. Oh, it went so well. Goodbye, Academy. I think I have to say goodbye to Force as well. And I'm just gonna go fetch. I guess I could keep Academy. I think I'd rather have an Underground Sea though. So Mox, Delta, Underground Sea, Merchant Scroll for an Ancestral. I think I like that the most. Hmm. They do get to flashback of Preordain here, which is quite good. It's unfortunate that they have a Moxen. Yeah. Hmm. All right, chat. I didn't even mute. There's not really a Doomsday with. I mean, you can play Doomsday with Lurrus. I don't think it's really worthwhile. You'd have to kind of play it with it main, I think, as well. So yeah, I don't know. I think a lot of the Lurrus decks ended up being pretty mediocre. Oh yeah, I mean, I think you definitely want Street Wraith in your deck, so. Hmm. Now the next question is, I'm probably gonna end up passing the turn before casting Ancestral, right? Probably for the best. Around that 1 of 2 of negation. The thing is, I just don't think casting turn 1 Lurrus is good. That's the problem. I haven't found that Lurrus has been good. I don't know if the format is like significantly different than the last time Lurrus was good on turn 1, but it really just doesn't feel very strong, you know? That's kind of an interesting draw. Huh. I don't think I'm supposed to bolt on upkeep though. I don't really want to open them up to fluster either though, so I kind of do want to bolt on upkeep. I don't need to bolt until they play a preordain. No, I'm saying like even when I have like Black Lotus Lurrus on turn 1 in an opener from my main, it's just not good. My opponents just kill me every time. I think this is the best play. Another problem with this deck is it's very heavily Grixis. Like you have some very stringent red and black color requirements to cast the spells, and you really don't have like the opportunity. Oh, fun. Okay, you really don't have the ability to fetch and be happy about fetching. Jeez, that's not very good. All right, I'm gonna upkeep an ancestral on their turn here. Well, that doesn't really let me play around hardcast negation, does it? I think it's just time though. I feel like letting them draw another card is not very good. I can beat that, but I can't beat double backup is the only issue here. I mean, I can't ever beat a fluster basically because of the way my mana is situated. I mean, I could beat a fluster if they had only fluster, but not when they have. Okay. I think I'm actually willing to just pyroblast that. No, I really don't want them to draw fluster. I think I want to just pyroblast this. Oh, it's a hard cast negation. I'm surprised they held hard cast negation for so long. Oh, they're gonna dig. They're gonna dig. All right. Well, I could have waited there, I guess. But at least they can't fluster anymore. They have to get force of will. They got force of will. If they have a follow up like preordain here, how can I ever play Magic? Okay, they didn't. Woo. I mean, I feel like we. Ooh, hello. I think we definitely just try to cast some ancestrals here. Okay. So I have an option. I can cast an ancestral. Yeah, I'm just gonna cast an ancestral. Why is that? What am I talking about? Ancestral, target me. This one. One. This one. Okay. Close. I mean, as long as they don't have an ancestral of their own, I think we're in pretty decent shape. Ponder's a good one. They did not shuffle on their... Oh, come on! What did I do wrong? It's been a hard day. It's been a real rough one. They all of a sudden just have 8 cards in hand. Like, my equivalent, the equivalent thing of what my opponent just did, if we had drawn, if our Ancestral had just drawn us Black Lotus Brain Freeze, that's what our opponent just did to us, right? I mean, we had the opportunity to draw well, and I mean, we didn't draw badly, but we didn't draw well enough. Um, am I allowed to let this resolve? And just go Remora, get my cat? I could pitch Brain Freeze, because I have a Merchant Scroll in my yard. My opponent was not going to discard. What the fuck are you talking about? My opponent has 5 cards in hand. They literally just cast Flusterstorm. What? That means they had 6 cards in hand. My force isn't... So, oh my god, chat. Let me try to explain this to you. If I choose to force, I can only have one of these 2 cards. I can choose to let this resolve and have both of these 2 cards. I could choose to force and pitch Remora and just hope Brain Freeze is good enough. I can choose to pitch Brain Freeze and hope that Cat plus Remora is good enough. I'm going to let it resolve because I think that a Remora... I don't know, whatever. Yeah. Has a Jeskai player ever just drawn 4 lands? Like, they play a bunch of lands, right? Okay, all right. They're out of spells that matter. Bravo. We've done it. Now the question becomes, do we want to just spin and try to find a breach? Or would we rather get that Lurrus, which is automatically a breach? I think I'd rather just go get this Lurrus. Yeah, so... Oh, we're just dead. We're dead to Time Walk. So what was our other choices here? We had no choices. We were just dead to Time Walks. So we could have spun and try. I mean, we can't counter unless we drew a pyro, I guess. So we should have spun looking for a pyro. I don't know. Whatever. Clearly tilted, playing like shit. Yeah, I probably should have forced Lavinia. I feel like I played very poorly there. I'm not seeing that anywhere, Potts. Yeah, I guess we could have forced I think we should have forced the I think we should have forced Lavinia pitching freeze, I guess, because we don't need a freeze. We have a merchant scroll, but we kind of need a freeze. We don't have a lot of mana. At the very least, I should have played top spun top looking for a pyroblast. Not that we know if pyroblast is going to be good enough, but it would have at least helped, right? Well, the problem is if we had to fetch, then we would have been at 4, so we couldn't counter a time walk. We would have to, even if we pyroblasted the Lavinia, we would actually still die to time walk because we would have lost 1 more life and taken 2 and then taken 2. Sorry, chat. I don't really feel like I gave that my all after we were knocked out, but it do be like that sometimes. All right, let's just do a quick recap on the deck. I thought this deck was pretty medium. I don't think that the changes that I made were good. I think the changes I made were very poor. This is the deck as it was originally constructed. I think that you should just be playing Breach and you shouldn't play PO with it. If you're going to play this full Moxen set, I don't really want Lurrus. I would rather have Tinker Citadel. I really think that it's just not the strongest way to play Breach. I don't even think that like the Moxen set and Tinker Citadel is better than just playing normal Breach plus Lurrus. There were definitely some upsides to Lurrus. Lurrus was not bad on the day. Even Sprite Dragon wasn't like terrible on the day. I don't think it was a bad card to have in my deck. I just don't think it advanced my game plan in a way that I really thought was good enough. And the Remoras weren't. I didn't draw that many Remoras, but they weren't like crazy good either. The Hurkyl's Recall was obviously quite good today, but in general, I think that I would rather just not play PO as my plan B, and I would focus on Underworld breaching and making sure that that portion of my deck is the highest operating capacity. Yeah, so that's kind of my analysis of what of the deck. Like I said, I don't think we played perfectly today by any means, and I don't think our mulligan choices were very on point either. So there's a lot of blame in the pilot for that matter for today's showing. But yeah, so as for me, I think I'm going to, again, this is always a question mark in my book. I do think I'm going to try to stream the 3 a.m. challenge tonight. Streaming the 3 a.m. challenge usually means that I need to have slept some amount beforehand. So it's contingent on me actually being able to nap in time. However, if we are able to nap in time, then I'd like to do that. If not, the next stream is likely to be Sunday evening or Monday night. The next guaranteed stream is Wednesday at 7 p.m. like normal. If there's an Octagon next week on Thursday, then there'll be an Octagon on Thursday. For anyone who's new here, I'm Justin. I am actually level 1. I stream Vintage. My normal guaranteed streams are Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern and Saturdays at 1 p.m. Eastern. I've streamed pretty much every challenge that's Vintage Challenge on Saturday since, like probably almost a year plus now. So it was fun. Thank you everybody for hanging out today. I'm gonna find a nice place to send everybody. I wonder if there are any vintage streams still going that have a chance of top 8ing. Maybe Zio is streaming. Oh, Montolio 6-1. Wow. Let me just check and see if Zio is streaming. I believe Zio is streaming. If Zio is streaming, then I can get you guys into a top 8 stream. Let's see. Zio. Doesn't look like Zio is streaming today. This is unfortunate. All right, let's find a different place then. Oh, Kane is streaming. Yeah, I'll send you guys over to Kane. Yeah. So like I said, maybe I'll be back tonight in. Let's see, it's gonna be 9 hours from now. It's possible I will be back in 9 hours from now. I might not be though. I can't guarantee that one. It's too late at night to guarantee. But Kane is playing some Jun Citadel over in Pioneer, which is a pretty cool deck. Very, very cool. So hopefully you guys will enjoy that, and hopefully everybody has a great rest of their weekend. Peace.